What's going on, Legionnaires, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now for this video, we're going to be diving into Aliens issue number 2. Now, if you don't really understand what's going on with Aliens, Marvel bought Aliens. They now own it, and they're running their own new comic line under the Marvel umbrella. Now, if you didn't catch the debut, issue number 1, go ahead and check that out. I'll leave a link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's a really awesome issue, and I'm super excited to really explore what Marvel's going to do with the Alien line. Now, this is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and in last issue, we were introduced to Gabe Cruz. He had just retired after dedicating his life to Epsilon Station, and all the research that's pretty much entwined with that, which all connects to the Xenomorphs. Now, with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so we pick up on this issue, and we're in the station. And inside the station, we have a grandfather holding his granddaughter. All the alarms are going off, they can hear screeching, they can hear horrors, but it's already too late for them. Something has made its way inside the room, and the grandfather gets up to go find out exactly what it was. But all we hear from him is muffling sounds and a shadow coming over the girl. And then we're taken to Earth, and we see Gabe laying in bed, sitting here laying asleep. It's 5:30 in the morning, but this is when he gets a phone call from Ted. And Ted's letting him know he's sitting outside. They gotta talk because something happened. And so Gabe goes downstairs, gets some coffee brewing, and they skip over the pleasantries. They skip over them really quick and get directly to the point. And he lets them know that 32 hours ago, a maintenance drone from the Atlantic hub synced with the station, except it wasn't one of their drones. It was a personal carrier carrying anti-corporate UA extremists. Now this team, they got on board and they killed the fire guard detail, they broke into the lab, and they caused just pandemonium on the station. And this is where Gabe asks, so what did they get away with? What did they come to the station for? And this is where Ted tells him, no one got off the station. When the lab was breached, his quarter pod was automatically launched, but everybody else is still up there. Everything that they had in the labs, every subject, every embryo, every egg that they brought from term, it's all out in the wide open now. Now this is huge, and Gabe's just baffled at this news, and he asks, who did this? Do you have any idea who did it? And this is when Ted tells them, yeah, we have security footage of exactly who did this, and they got in with your security card, the one you asked us to keep active so you could go back for counseling work. And this is when he shows him his son Danny on the screen, because his son Danny is a part of this team. And this is when Ted fills him in, lets him know that his son has been working security for the Grant Corporation, and that he was recruited by Iris Humphreys, which is a known member of the Minute Hand movement. And Ted tells him, Gabe, you screwed up this time. This one's fallen on you. And he lets him know, what's happening next is the station is going to fall into orbit. We're going to call it a catastrophic systems failure, and it's going to burn up in the atmosphere. And everything aboard, no evidence whatsoever, will be left. And obviously, this infuriates Gabe. His son is on board there. Regardless of what his son just did, his son is on board that station with freaking Xenomorphs. And this is where Ted lets him know, due to his lifetime of dedicated service, the company is offering him one chance to make it right. To go back to the station to get the alpha embryo out of cryo, because it's the only sample that might still be secure. To bring it back to Earth, and then they will pretty much destroy anything left on the station after that. And that he's going to get two guys. He's going to get two young agents. They're going to go on this ship with him, but that's it. That's all the support that they're getting. And Ted tells him, this is your opportunity. 1, to fix it, and 2, to save your son. But your primary goal is getting that embryo, because if you come back with your son and not that embryo, we're gonna throw you both in jail. We're gonna throw you both in prison for corporate terrorism. And just like that, Gabe is on a drop ship headed up to the station. Now, on the way up to the station, these two guys that are working for him, they're kind of poking at him, making fun of him. You know, he's an older guy. Doesn't look like he should be going on missions like this at all. And he reminisces a little bit. Reminisces about 20 years earlier when they were doing the same kind of stuff. But he doesn't have much time from reminiscing because they're docking. And as they dock, they get on board only to see blood everywhere, panels falling from the ceiling, and it's just looking like a massacre. Now, the guys that he brought with him, they have no idea what they're up against. The first question is, how big are these things? Because the only briefing they got was really just the video briefing. But they didn't even watch that. And so Gabe fills them in a little bit, lets them know that they call them Xenomorphs, that their size and shape are fluid because they can impregnate pretty much any complex organism. And he goes into further detail, letting them know that the egg layers, they'll be small, probably hiding in corners and crevices. They call them face huggers. Now, the size of the drones, it all depends on who their host was. Humanoid ones are the biggest. And they're making their way through this station only to see blood everywhere. It doesn't look like anybody is freaking alive in this place. And as they make their way through this place, they finally get to the lab. Now, so far, so good. No Xenomorphs, no face huggers, no nothing at this point. Now, this place is looking a wreck, and we know there's something out there because everything has escaped at this point. And they make their way over to the Alpha containment only to find that it's gone. It's either been stolen or it's running around this place somewhere. And so now they gotta find it. They gotta figure out a way to get a sample back. Because like Ted told them, he can't go back without a sample. Now, as they're having a discussion on what to do next, this is when they hear some rattling from a locker. And they draw their weapons only to see a blonde woman sitting there. And immediately Gabe's just like, where's Danny? Like, where is he? Where did he go? But she lets us know that she's only an intern, and she hid it here as soon as everything started going off. And just as fast as they opened up this locker, we see face huggers falling from the ceiling. And we see our team fighting and struggling to try to get these things off of them as fast as possible. Gabe grabbing one and throwing it off to the side, telling them to light it up. And that's exactly what we see here, is just machine guns lighting this thing up. But as one of these guys are firing, he gets impaled through the stomach. And this is when we see the Xenomorph arise. Coming out of the smoky shadows, he grabs onto the soldier and literally rips his ribcage out. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, personally, I'm having a lot of fun with this line. I've always been a big Alien fan ever since I was a kid. You know, Alien, Species, Predator, those were always, you know, great go-to sci-fi horror. And now we're seeing a whole new world of possibilities under the Marvel umbrella just because they have so many resources. They can throw whatever kind of money they need to at this. You know, and Philip Johnson, he's done such a great job at really bringing some new life into the Alien line. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you enjoying the Alien line? Is it something you're following? Is it something that you're going to pick up? Let me know your thoughts. If you have not yet, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and until the next breakdown,